Hey, what's up, Cerebral Lights? It's me, the Cerebral Diva. And right now I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit outside of my norm. Okay, so usually I'm talking about political and social issues and, sort of heavier topics. But there is a lighter side to the Cerebral Diva. I definitely have my guilty pleasures. And one of my guilty pleasures is The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes, I love this show. I've been watching it since season one. Um, I love it, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So there. So anyhow, this season, season nine, has been a really, really interesting season. And I'm not going to give a recap of the entire season because even after all of the things that have happened this season, the stuff between Candy and Porsha, the divorce between Peter and Cynthia, just everything that's happened this season. One particular incident stood out for me. And that incident happened this past Sunday, which was episode 16, the Maui episode. And if you haven't seen the episode, I don't want to give any spoilers, so you may not want to listen to this. But for those of you who have seen the episode, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So, in this particular episode, there was a situation between Bob and Sheree, and while that was, I thought was a really interesting scene. Or I don't even want to call it a scene because that makes it seem like it was something that was set up. That was a really interesting event that occurred on camera. The thing that stood out for me most during this episode was not that. It was the incident between, well, it's not even an incident per se. There's a scene, and I'm going to call this a scene because she caused a scene where Porsha and her boyfriend are in their hotel room, and then there's a knock at the door. Porsha sends her boyfriend over to open the door, and in walks Phaedra. And when I tell you that Phaedra had on next to nothing, and okay, I get it. We're in Maui. We're on vacation, so it's beach wear, it's beach attire. Okay, I'm comfortable. I'm secure in my womanhood, so I'm not necessarily intimidated by another woman. But it wasn't the what she had on. It was the way that she showed to me she showed no respect for Porsha or Portia's man, and no respect for herself in that particular scene. So she comes in and she basically has on sort of this slingshot bathing suit. So it's picture Borat. I'm not calling her Borat, but I'm just saying picture if you've ever seen the movie Borat, you'll know what a slingshot bathing suit is. So she basically has on this slingshot bathing suit, which has a plunging neckline and next to nothing. And she's bending over and doing all of these inappropriate things, all in front of the presence of Portia's boyfriend. Now, you see him, he's on his computer, but he's looking up, but kind of trying not to look up, but look up. And, but she's clearly making an effort to get this man attention and make her presence known. And look, I'm all for a good time, girl. I'm all for the party, girl. But when my man is in the room, all of that shuts down. The way, and what's so interesting to me is that they showed a clip from next week's episode, which will be episode 17, where Phaedra is basically admonishing Kenya for essentially having a part in the destruction of her marriage because she felt like that Kenya had no respect for Portia's marriage. But when you see the way that Phaedra walks into the room and disrespects Portia's relationship, and not only did she just did, part of me wanted to smack Porsha. Like, how dare you not say something to her? Like, had that have been me, that whole situation would have gone another way because I would have grabbed her by her wrist, led her to the door, and she would have we would have to have a do-over. We're in Maui, everyone's in bikinis, bathing suits, what have you. I'm okay with that. but there's no excuse for you to be bending over, bumping, grinding, gyrating in the presence of someone else's man. It's just inappropriate. And so how dare you criticize Kenya for being inappropriate with your relationship and then turn right around and do the exact same thing that you were accusing Kenya of doing with Porsha. Now, the excuse will be, oh, well, that was my husband. Porsha isn't married. Doesn't matter. If someone is involved with another person, there's just a certain level of respect, decorum, comportment that you conduct yourself with in the presence of another woman's man. And the way that Porsha essentially performed in quotation marks in front of this man, I can see next season that her and Porsha's friendship will be a short-lived friendship. If Porsha has the gumption to call her on her stunts and her shows. So anyway, if you've seen this episode, please comment, because I'm curious to know if you saw what I saw, because what I saw was completely inappropriate. And yeah, so please, as always in parting, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It's me, the Cerebral Diva. And if you have a friend who does things that, like what Porsha did in front of, what Phaedra did, excuse me, I keep calling her Porsha, what Phaedra did in front of Porsha's boyfriend, that is a friend that you do not need. So yes, I will talk to you guys again soon. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, take care. Have a blessed day.